and breach it. Where the digital hits the physical, we take the red pill, we break the seal. Infallible security, making it real. Bottom out to party on the mic tonight. Turning the darkness into light.
Rights, borders, bridges.
Let's open our first file, securing the borders. I want you to think about Star Wars: The Empire Strikes Back, specifically the Battle of Hoth. The rebels are hiding on an ice planet. The environment is hostile. It is a world where the elements kill you faster than the enemy can. If the heating systems fail, everyone freezes to death in minutes. The Empire knows this. And how do they start the siege? They don't send the fleet immediately. They don't just bombard from the orbit. They send a Viper probe droid, a single hovering robot that scans the terrain, locks onto the thermal signature of the shield generator, and transmits the coordinates back to the fleet. This week, we saw the Battle of Hoth play out in Eastern Europe, and we realized that our own skies are full of probe droids. First, let's talk about the siege. We call it the calendar kill chain. On December 20th, just as officers were emptying out for the holidays, the Romanian National Water Authority, Apel Romain, was hit. 6 days later, Boxing Day, December 26th, the gentleman ransomware group struck the Oltenia energy complex. Let's pause and look at the target selection. This wasn't a bank. This wasn't a casino. Oltenia provides 30% of Romania's power. Apel Romain controls the water supply for an entire nation. These are what we call life safety critical systems. Now, look at the timing. December 26th. Historically, military commanders have always used winter. Napoleon was defeated by the Russian winter. The German army froze outside Stalingrad. In cyber warfare, the winter general is the holiday schedule. But don't think this is just a lucky guess. This is OSINT, Open Source Intelligence, weaponization. The attackers are scraping your corporate LinkedIn pages. They are monitoring your happy holidays posts to see who is active and who is checked out. More terrifyingly, they are pinging your email servers to harvest out-of-office auto-replies. Every time your server automatically replies, "I am out of the office until January 5th. For urgent matters, contact a junior employee," you are sending a tactical scouting report to the enemy. You just told them the decision maker is gone. The backup contact is less experienced. They have a 10-day window to operate without oversight. When they strike on Boxing Day, the mean time to respond doubles. The confusion triples. Communication chains are broken because the decision makers are on a ski slope in the Alps with spotty reception. They didn't just hack a server, they hacked the HR schedule. And look at the weapon they used. They used BitLocker. For those who don't know, BitLocker is a legitimate Windows security tool. It is designed to encrypt your hard drive so that if you lose your laptop, a thief can't read your data. The gentleman group didn't write a fancy new virus. They gained administrative access and then they turned on BitLocker. They used the system's own immune system to kill the host. They locked the energy company out of its own control servers using the very tools installed to protect them. This is the definition of living off the land. Why build a weapon when you can just pick the one sitting on the victim's desk? Then shift your eyes to Ukraine. January 8th. Russian strikes coordinated with cyber effects left over 1 million people without heat and water. Temperatures were plunging below zero. This is the kinetic effect we predicted in episode 2. The goal is not data theft. The goal is turn off the heat on planet Hoth and let the cold kill the opposition. This is siege warfare digitized. In the Middle Ages, you surrounded a castle and starved them out. In 2026, you surround the SCADA network and freeze them out. But how do they know where to strike? How do they map the infrastructure so perfectly? Enter the probe droids. On January 7th, the FCC finally dropped the hammer. They added specific foreign-made uncrewed aircraft systems, drones, to the covered list. Basically, a ban. They declared them an unacceptable national security risk. Why now? Because for the last decade, we have been buying the Empire's probe droids to inspect our own eco-base. We used these foreign drones to inspect our bridges. We use them to survey our power lines. We use them to map our water reservoirs. We use them to film our weddings. We bought them because they were cheap. We bought them because they had 4K cameras and great battery life. We thought we were buying a camera. We were actually installing a hardware Trojan in our own airspace. In Empire Strikes Back, the probe droid transmits the location of the shield generator before it self-destructs. These drones have been doing the exact same thing. Technically, here is what happens. The drone collects telemetry data, GPS coordinates, flight paths, video footage. It stores this data. Then, when it connects to the internet for a firmware update or to sync your flight logs to the cloud, it sends a packet to a server in Shenzhen. That packet contains the high-resolution 3D map of the critical substation you just inspected. It contains the structural weak points of the dam you just surveyed. It contains the thermal exhaust ports of the power plant. This is the failure of data sovereignty. You can pass all the laws you want about where data is stored. You can write GDPR policies until your hand cramps. But if the device itself, the physical hardware collecting the data, is hard-coded at the factory to phone home, your laws are meaningless. You cannot patch a spy. The border isn't a line on a map anymore. The border is the firmware on the drone hovering over the Golden Gate Bridge. The border is a SCADA system controlling the heater in a Romanian apartment block. And right now, the shield generator is down.